Hello and welcome to the Phoenix 5 Info Show. I'm your host, Lieutenant Vince Lewis, coming to you once again from Phoenix Police Headquarters in beautiful downtown Phoenix with my co-host, PIO Sgt. Rob Scherer. Welcome back to the show.
Thanks, boss. Good to be here.
As always.
Yes.
Good to see you.
Yep, you told me to be here, and I have followed through.
Yeah. No, that's a great thing about having such loyal employees.
Yes, or I just do what I'm told. Well done.
Yeah. Speaking of loyal employees, we brought back PIO Sergeant and Silent Witness Program Coordinator, Sergeant Brian Bauer. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you, as always.
Hey, we're going to go over some silent witness cases.
Yes, so we have two different silent witness cases. One is a fatal hit and run. The other is an armed robbery. Both violent situations, both seeking information on who the people who were responsible for these horrific incidences were.
All right, Rob, which one do you want to go with?
Let's go hit and run.
Hit and run?
Yeah.
So it's good to mention that with Silent Witness, there is a reward for any information that leads to the arrest. What's unique about Silent Witness is it pays off of the arrest and not the conviction, which is great because, as we know, convictions can take several months, several years just to get. The rewards are almost instantaneous. So in this particular one, this is going to be a hit and run that happened on October 8th, 2024. So it's a relatively recent one, 8:16 p.m. in the area of 5400 North 43rd Avenue. Our victim has been identified. She was a 70-year-old woman. And on this day, she's walking across the street. This vehicle that we have identified just as a four-door white vehicle, possibly a Toyota Camry, with a sunroof, hit and struck our victim, leaving her in the street as it took off. So this happens, unfortunately, quite often in Phoenix and around the valley. But with surveillance cameras that we have here, we're hoping that somebody out in the community might recognize this car, might remember that day, again, October 8th, 2024.
So when you get this, Brian, like you guys are actively, like you've got your Silent Witness team. Do you guys actively work with these detectives? Like what's the process of them getting you this information, then you switching and getting them that information?
Yeah, that's a good question. It happens a lot of different ways. Some of it is the detective reaches out to us. Me being a PIO, I see some of these situations happen through the news, and it might intrigue me because I saw that it's got good video camera, and this might be something that detectives can use. So I kind of try to spur that. The other one is we have a lot of victims that reach out to our office as well, saying, my family member was involved in this, or I was involved in this personally. How can Silent Witness help us highlight the case? How can we present this case to the media? So it's a great way for more relationship building with the victims and with the community.
So the Silent Witness Program obviously protects the information. It protects the tipster as well. And cash reward, in this case, this hit and run case, hit me again with the media case number or the reference number.
Yep. So it's media case number 2024-4284. The reward on this is $2,000. Anytime that there's a homicide or a fatal hit and run, the reward is automatically $2,000, and that's money that's provided from Silent Witness organization itself. There's a lot of cases out there where family and friends, even community members reach out and they feel that this story has more of an impact, and they can provide more money for that reward as well.
And the photos that we're looking at here, for those who can't see, the photos of the white vehicle, four-door white vehicle that we're looking at, those are available on silentwitness.org?
Yeah, and a lot of our stuff even has videos. So we'll be able to work again closely with the detectives to provide that video so that folks out there can see not just the pictures or hear the story, but they can actually see it visually, know what intersection this happened at. And there might be unique things with the vehicles or with the suspects that only those viewers might realize, whether it's a speech impediment or a walking disability of some sort, or just even minor collision damage on the vehicle that wasn't created from the scene itself, but it might be able to recognize it as a neighbor or a friend or a family's vehicle.
Brian, I know we're sitting here, we're obviously wearing this uniform. You're part of our team, we're Phoenix PD. Silent Witness isn't just for us, right? Like if there's someone that just happens to be listening at the time when we are on KTAR or is on our YouTube and checks it out, but they don't live in Phoenix, are you still managing some cases outside of the valley or outside of Phoenix itself?
Yeah, great question. And we like to push our messaging out as far and wide as it can. Silent Witness is a Maricopa County program. We work with all agencies in Maricopa County. Doesn't mean that we don't go outside the county and go across state lines. There's been plenty of times that we've worked with folks from Nevada, from Colorado that are also with our program. They're with a sister program, and it's great to see that cooperation, be able to work with other departments because, again, crime isn't just stagnant to one area. It's very transitory where it can go across jurisdictions to different cities, even different states. We have a lot of folks that are wanted. We know who these people are. We know what they're wanted for. And they've skipped out of town. They've either gone to Mexico internationally. They've even gone back to, we have a case where the suspect went back to Eastern European. And what's great about Silent Witness is we have such a far-reaching capability just to show our cases, highlight them across the world using the internet so that anybody who has information on the whereabouts of some of these folks or information that maybe some family member here in Phoenix has told you over the phone, you can relay that same information to our detectives so that they can use that as a puzzle piece to find the ultimate person responsible.
And what lengths do you go to? What lengths does the program go to protect the identity of the tipsters?
So that's also a great question. A lot of folks, they're fearful of calling in. They don't want to be related to a police report. They don't want to have to go through the court process. They want to be anonymous. Anonymity is something that we want to protect for all of our tipsters. So we have a program called P3. P3, what it does is it provides the tipster, as soon as you call in, you're provided a username and a password. That's how you log into P3. And you can coordinate and communicate with our detective for Silent Witness. If you have follow-up information, if you have questions, if you have concerns, you're going to be known as that pre-arranged number and not your name. We're not going to ask who you are. We don't want to know any information about you. With that being said, silentwitness.org is another great opportunity for you can go on and put in the claim or submit the tip that you want. We do caution people that if you're going to use that online site at silentwitness.org, make sure that you only put very generalized information in your narrative section. Again, we don't want to know who you are. We don't want to know what your relationship with the suspect is or your involvement with that incident. We just want puzzle pieces that our detectives can use to find ultimately the person responsible.
Excellent.
What specific to say this hit and run case? Like how much information does someone need to do a tip? Like if I might think that that's my neighbor's car but I don't know, is that enough to send in and say, hey, this one kind of looks like the car in that video and just check it out?
Absolutely. If you call over the phone at 480-WITNESS, you can provide, hey, I think it's my somebody who lives in my neighborhood. It's their car. This is their address. This is the plate number. Detectives will be able to use that information to see if maybe they went to a shop and got some cosmetic stuff done on their car. They'll be able to go out there, inspect it themselves, try to match up the key specifics on the vehicle pictures that we have here with their vehicle. Another great thing about that website on silentwitness.org is you can provide pictures. You can upload pictures and videos and documents, and that piece of information will go directly to the investigators. So again, you don't have to call the investigators directly. You use Silent Witness as that workaround.
Hit us with that second case.
Yep, the second case here is an armed robbery case. This happened on June 4th, 2024 at 5:54 p.m. in the area of 31st Avenue and Northern. This is a Circle K case. A lot of the armed robberies, a lot of thefts happen at these Circle Ks. What's unique about crimes at gas stations and convenience stores, any kind of stores themselves, is they have great surveillance cameras. We have two suspects in here. One of them is wearing a face mask, so it's hard to tell his facial features itself. He's wearing a short sleeve shirt. I don't see any tattoos. I don't see anything that really marks him specifically. The other gentleman who is with, that's where we're hoping that the community might be able to recognize him. If you typically recognize one person, chances are the person committing the crime with you, you know him some way. Detectives will be able to find that relationship out. They just need that, again, that small piece of information to help them continue their investigation.
Hey, Rob, I'll defer to you with the questions on this one because this is a robbery. Yeah. That's where you came from.
It is. Yeah, this is almost all my robbery cases went to your detective, and even later in my career as a sergeant there, went to your detective, Mike Fisher, and I worked with him hand in hand repeatedly on these type of cases through and through. The best thing about Silent Witnesses is we may only have a picture of this case, but we know this person. Robbery is a serial-based crime. We know this person's done 2 or 3 others. You may not be just solving this or helping us solve this one case. You may be taking care of 3 or 4 cases that these are person crimes. The clerk, even though someone may minimize it to a degree. That's a person crime. There's violence perpetrated on a clerk or on an employee or sometimes a patron of the store while they're committing that theft. And it's a significant deal. And when you solve cases like this, that is a person crime, like both these cases, you're affecting that person and a family, in that hit and run. So silent witness is huge for robbery cases like this.
So tell us the case number that we can refer to find the case on silentwitness.org, and then a little bit more information about the case.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is case number 2024-4226. Again, this happened on June 4th, 2024, about 5:54 p.m., 31st Avenue in Northern, Circle K there. These two individuals, they go into the store. They grab some drinks, some adult beverages off the display shelf. They start walking out. As they're walking out, the clerk stops them, confronts them, and he pulls out a gun and threatens to use that gun. Like Sergeant Scherer was saying, I mean, these are situations that it's not just about the property. It's not just the fact that they stole a couple cases of beer. It's the fact that they were bold enough to pull out a gun, point it at a victim, the fear that victim had, the knowledge of possibly not making it home for their family. This is a tremendous situation that gives a little bit more understanding of how scary this can possibly be. Also, like you mentioned, is we don't know exactly how many other cases these two suspects were involved in. They may be involved in other cases outside of Phoenix's jurisdiction. So a lot of silent witness, when we provide these highlights, it's not just to the community, it's to police officers themselves, to officers in other jurisdictions, so that if they happen to see this person, maybe they've contacted them before, they can call into silent witness, they can get a hold of us and make sure that information gets to the proper people.
Yeah, and from a detective's perspective, a huge thing about this, if you're on the Silent Witness website and you're going through some stuff and you recognize, hey, I work in this intersection, they're most likely going to be in and around that intersection. That's a Circle K they're comfortable with, clearly enough, comfortable enough with to go in and commit this violent offense. If you work there, if you own a business there, or you live in the area, take a look at those pictures. You may not know them now, but it may be someone you recognize in the future. And it's just community taking care of community, using silent witness to do it. It's a great caveat and a great way to help us as investigators solve those crimes.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, like our saying is, it pays to fight crime. It's not just paying the $1,000 for this particular reward, but it pays with ability to help your community in a completely different way. So it's great all around. It works great for the community, for the police department, and it works great for the tipsters, because whether you're doing it for the money or you're just doing it because your heart is weighed down because you have that information, you know that it's important to give out, you just don't know how to do it properly, silent witness is your way.
Sergeant Bauer, thank you for coming back to the show and giving us all this information on the silent witness cases. Sergeant Scherer, thank you for coming back.
Of course, boss, glad to be here.
Just want to remind everybody out there that you too can help solve crime in your community and potentially earn a cash reward by sending tips to Silent Witness. Visit silentwitness.org or call 480-WITNESS. Visit us on all social media platforms. We are hiring. Go to joinphxpd.com. And remember, we're all in this together.